All right, so 7D is determine the equation for this rational function. So you know it's a rational function because we've got the two pieces, right? We've got this piece and we've got this piece. It could be looking like this too, where you have a piece here and a piece here, right? So this one is kind of opposite from what most are, right? So if we go back to the textbook, it says get the equation in, so there's no b, right? So just in a over x minus h, okay, plus k. So in y equals a over x minus h plus k, which means that in order to get the arms to kind of face this way, that has to be a flip, a vertical flip of the original. So remember that y equals 1 over x, which would be our standard graph, would look something like this, right? So if you flipped this one about the y-axis and made it blue, it would look something like this. If you flip this one, it would make it something like this. So that's kind of the shape that we see there, isn't it? So that means that a is going to be negative. So a is going to be negative something. Now, is there any idea how can we figure out maybe what a is? Normally, with the x, we go over 1, we go up 1, right? Because if x is 1, y is 1, 1 over 1. So what do we do from what this perceived sort of origin, would be here? I go over 1, up 2. So does it make sense that possibly this has also been stretched? Does that make sense? Okay, so a could be negative 2 then, looks like. Instead of over 1, up 1, it could be times 2. You think?
The y is each unit in y was 2.
So say that again?
The y-axis is compressed, so each unit in y is 2. So
each square is 2 here. Oh, I see what you're saying. Thank you for noticing that. This is minus 6 here, yeah. So this goes up 4 actually. So then going over 1, so this is 1 and these are 2, yeah. So going over 1 up 4. Okay, so that is a deviation from the norm. Let's just go back real quick, look in the textbook and see if we can find just a regular graph here. Might have to go back a ways. I think that one was. So you see the blue graph here, 1 over x. So we go over 1, up 1. If it was stretched by a factor of 2, you go over 1, up 2. If it was stretched by a factor of 4, you go over 1, up 4. So that appears to be what's happening here. So a is going to be negative because we flipped it, and then we've also stretched it 4. So the horizontal asymptote is normally on the x-axis, but it has been moved down. How many units? 6 units. So does it look like this k would be a minus 6? Okay. So go down 6 units. And then it looks like the vertical axis, or asymptote, which is normally the y-axis, has been moved to the right 1 unit. So does it make sense that h is 1? And so that our equation would be negative 4 over x. H is 1, so x minus 1. That's to the right 1 unit. And then minus 6, that's down 6 units. Okay, so does that match? Yeah, is that the equation that you guys see there? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, just watch the scale there, I guess. 1's 1 and 1's 2. That's tricky. Okay, good. Any other questions on this teacher dressed like a student day and student dressed like teacher day? Yo. Okay, no other questions from this assignment? All right. Yes?
Can we also understand that A is the result of y and x times each to multiply to each other? Standard form.
Well, y and x multiply to each other?
So let's say perceive that as the origin, perceive the that as the origin. So each point on it will be times to -4.
Well, yeah, I mean, multiplying the values of the points, you're still going from what would be the perceived middle.
Yeah.
So it's easier just to count. Like over 1 and then up is your A or down is your A or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't multiply X and Y values at all because you're going to end up multiplying maybe the wrong values, or you're going to see this as a point and that as a point. I don't know.
Makes sense.
But because the 1 is always involved there, over 1.
So it's easy.
Okay, good? All right.
That was easy.
Yeah? Sort of? No?
9.
9? What?
No.